Hi, it's Rav Tour. You're watching InTune with Real Estate, the hottest show in the world. That's right, I said it, I don't care. We've got a great show for you tonight. My good friend Richard Dolan is on the show. Richard is an author of many, many books, wealth creation, all that kind of good stuff. Richard, you're an analyst, a life coach, everything like that. It is great to have you on the show.
It's good to be here. It's good to be here.
Thank you for being here. I've seen you from a distance and was grateful to be able to, just this past weekend, share even the stage with you at a property show, and everybody's telling me you've got to get this guy Richard Dolan on the show, and I know you're a busy man. Thanks for coming on to chat.
Well, we're grateful for being here, and indeed it was a very busy weekend. You know, we had hundreds of people coming out to learn about how to invest, how to get started, what's this thing called real estate, how do I get in?
Yeah.
These are turbulent times, so people are definitely looking for something new.
Yeah, no, absolutely they are. I mean, just on the way over here, you know, listening to the radio, if it's not some guy pushing his wife and kids off a balcony, which is so hurtful, or you know, watch where you park at U of T because there's an assailant lurking around. It's the economy in Europe, or you know, Greece thinking they've just figured something out and come to a deal together. And I know that you're very knowledgeable, you know, with world economics. And you know, in my kind of grade 12 educated, immature nature, I'm kind of like, Richard, who cares? But when I listen to you, you make me kind of think, you've got to care what's going on around the world, because in a way it does have an impact with the way that we create wealth, whether it's here or whether it's in the States. Thoughts on that? Just education, knowledge?
Absolutely. These are different times. And for anybody who's been investing for any bit of time, whether it's been a few years or decades, they realize one thing after the 2008 crash, that going into the stock market is a real unpredictable thing to do. And so that's why real estate's really become the fourth forgotten asset class. So there's been a real surge of interest and desire and thirst and hunger to learn how to get into real estate. But at the same time, running parallel with this curiosity because of what's happened in the markets, people couldn't help but take notice of what's happened in the United States. And so to really understand what's happened in the United States, like real estate's on sale half price, you've got the Canadian dollar real strong, you've got to begin to appreciate that inside of this global village, there's global markets that are really falling apart. So you mentioned Greece. Italy is batters up. They're just on the brink of yet also default. So the Eurozone is really troubled, and it's impeding on the recovery for the U.S. And for all that reason, whether you're investing in the U.S. or whether you're looking across the Great Pond, whatever is happening in the world matters because it will affect the way you invest in real estate here.
That's great. You know, a few minutes before we go to break here, and then I want to get into the meat of what we're doing. But you travel the world. You know, you're there's a dynamism about you that you really enjoy what you do. You know, helping people. You've shared the stage with Trump and Clinton and Bush and all these kinds of guys. Tell me why. What's the impetus? Why does Richard Dolan do this? Why does he enjoy doing it? You know, it's not like we're making millions of dollars standing on stage. So why do you do it?
Well, listen, the reality is I'm really blessed having great supporters who are champions of education. I think at the end of the day, right now, more than ever before, people not only are drowning in information, but are really starving for leadership. And so for us in our firm, we felt it was a real calling to be able to stand up and step up, to be able to shed some light on the truth and bust the myths about the fundamentals around real estate. So we find it an honor. It's humbling to share the stage with the likes of former presidents and former heads of state and Oscar winners, and those things are really, really irrelevant. But the audiences that they draw and the numbers that they do is a real privilege to be able to educate them the way we have.
And you do it, you know, on a global scale. We do it in the States, but you actually do it. I mean, this show is in the promised land of York region, and thank you for watching at home as we do get into the nitty-gritty. Please feel free to call in, ask Richard any questions or comments or anything like that. It pertains to right here, the almost million people, as you're a local as well, right here in York region.
Absolutely.
And so even though we talk a little bit about Greece or we talk about the States, you're really talking to the people, the viewers at home, how they can make money by investing.
Absolutely.
in the States.
Absolutely. Well, look, everyone understands when it comes to real estate, like anything else, it comes right back down to the fundamentals. And as long as you're adhering to the fundamentals, then you can follow that anywhere. So, for us in doing the research that we do south of the border and internationally, we wrote the book called Life Rich Real Estate, which is all about the science and the measurement around how to do your due diligence beyond our borders. And so for us, we recognize that investors or buyers of whether it's recreational properties or retirement properties or investment properties, you've got to look beyond the nuances around language. There's actual facts and actual fundamentals that you've got to measure to make sure they make sense.
Okay, so this is the book here that you wrote.
That's right.
And tell me a little bit about it. When somebody picks it up, we're going to give a couple of them away. We're going to give you the first few callers that call in to ask a question. Richard has graciously given this book to you, so please call in. What's the book about? Life Rich Real Estate.
Well, Life Rich Real Estate, in Harvard Business School's words, they've endorsed the book by saying it's the very first time that a book has created a science, an actual methodology on being able to optimize the way people and place come together. And so we wrote this book in such a way to make sure that it's not so much the due diligence that Canadians do when looking for real estate, it's all the questions they fail to have asked, in fact, from the beginning. So that if you get all the questions answered the way you see it, consider there may have been more. So what we try to do is round out that conversation by looking at real estate in a very different dynamic. So what we did was we distilled research around all the driving values and traits. We harnessed research from areas like happiness economics. We've had this chat before, which is the research of the values of people and their relationship to money.
Why we do what we do.
That's right. Behavioral finance and investor resilience. All these research areas have gotten a lot of praise over the years, and we put it in a book to say, hey, if you're going to make an investment in real estate, look to see where the graying population is heading. Understand that wherever they grow happier is a smarter investment now more than ever before. And understanding those fundamentals, invest there before they arrive.
So park there for a second. Go walk me through that for a second. So we're seeing where our respected elders, where they're going.
That's right.
So, a lot of them are going down south.
That's right.
To Sunshine. So we learn a little bit about that, why, the impetus, all that. Secondly?
Well, look in USA Today, they just reported that a baby boomer in North America turns 55 every 8 seconds.
Okay.
So before the 2008 crisis, you got to understand that for those who are living in the northern part of the states, 34.5 million people, they share one thing in common. They shovel snow.
Yeah.
And we can, in fact, really empathize with that as Canadians.
Okay.
And when they get older, the last thing they want to be doing is doing just that. So they're going to immigrate into parts that are, Sunbelt areas.
Yeah.
But then 2008, this world financial crisis unfolds, and now all of a sudden, all that property that the Americans would have normally bought is now on sale half price. But here's the problem. Americans can't borrow money like they once did, no matter how low the rates are. So that's why Canada and Mexicans and Europeans and all kinds of other multinationals are buying those parts of the world. Not just because it's a great investment opportunity, because they realize in the next 5 or 10 or 15 years, they too might retire or end up vacationing there. So it's on sale.
It's on sale. And so we're going to get this book. We're going to go through it. But is there something further that I like this Richard guy? I know he's making money by investing himself. He's got properties all over North America. You have property outside of North America as well?
I do. In fact, for me, the largest part of my portfolio is really heavily weighted in the States right now.
Yeah.
And it actually started when my dad actually said, you know what, I want to buy a place. And so I did that.
Hold that thought. Let's get more into
Absolutely.
that conversation when we come back from the break. We've got author, mentor, coach, analyst Richard Dolan on the show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back as In Tune with Real Estate continues in a moment. Hi, it's Raptor. You're watching In Tune with Real Estate. I'm talking to a good friend, Richard Dolan, having a great time talking about life, money. It was great talking to you over the weekend, spirituality, all that kind of stuff. And even as I was talking to you and we're talking about the impetus, you mentioned words like feeling a call to just educate and help and so on and so forth. Life's too short not to do that and do what we want to do. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to put bread on the table as we need to. A man doesn't work, he doesn't eat.
Absolutely.
And so there's different ways to do that. We were talking just before the break, you were talking about your father.
Absolutely.
And how we kind of got into that conversation. I'd love to hear the man that brought you into this world.
Absolutely, you had something to do with it, I think. But before I even touch on that, you do touch on a point that's really important. A lot of the viewers right now should consider at this particular time, there's a massive departure from the idea of pursuing net worth. Net worth is calculated by when you take everything that you own, you subtract everything that you owe, and then you're left with a net worth, that financial impact. Yeah. But we've moved into an era of life worth. It's the value give to and get from life. Yeah. So the value give to and get from life, the poster children of that term would have been Mahatma Gandhi or Mother Teresa, who really selflessly and unstintingly gave their lives to people. And so in the realm of education, in the realm of mentorship and coaching and leading, that's where